future is now.
Broadcasting from the Queen City, breaking down business, leadership, community, and family. Here's your host, the president and CEO of the Northern Cincinnati Foundation, Erin Satzger.
The future is now.
Wow, can I just say I am so excited to be here with Stephen Hightower II today. We are in Middletown, Ohio at Hightower's Petroleum, and this is our very first inaugural show. And Stephen, I just have to say welcome. This is so fun, and I'm so excited that you are our very first guest.
I'm so grateful and excited to be here with you on this new journey for not only yourself, but for the foundation. It's a great way to get the word out of all the great new ways that we're reaching people and making an impact in the community. So thank you for having me.
So happy to have you. Really, this is such a fun idea. So let's talk a little bit about what gives. You know, what gives, this idea of this podcast was founded recently, and it was founded really with the idea with Stephen and Matt King and the community, and how can we further the foundation? How can we talk about awesome entrepreneurs in our community, also community builders and philanthropists, and kind of pull it all together and highlight some really awesome people in our community that are giving back and making an impact. Can we delve into third generation here at Hightower's Petroleum? And just, I want to hear your story because you so impressed me. Yeah,
and so I always have to go back to my grandparents who came here from Mississippi in the 50s. Mississippi at that time, as height of the Jim Crow segregation era, moved north to really start over and to be able to have opportunities for their kids at the time. And my grandfather always told me that so many people in Middletown helped him out, that he would have never achieved the success that he has, which has ultimately led to what we are today, without other people contributing to him and mentoring him and guiding and opening doors. There was a time where he wasn't even able to buy a house on this side of Middletown because of the color of his skin. But there were, fellow white, the white realtors that showed him around at nighttime, or bankers who had made relationships with that approved mortgages and things like that. So, there's a lot of things that he can get credit for, and it definitely does, but there was people in the background, and I always wanted to be, it became a responsibility for us to give back. Yeah. And, that's something that my father has also inspired in our company and in the culture of our company. And, for me, it's come back to our young people, because even, as a young person, I remember the people who poured into me, who took the time, to say, hey, is this the right track or the right track? Or just simply having a place to go and a place to develop that wasn't negative, and a place where you could call, because we could all go different paths, and there was just many people that kept me, although sometimes I veered off the path. But
Stephen, I think you and I are one and the same. I like to refer to it as late bloomers, right? Yeah. We're late bloomers, and you need those people in your life to make sure that you stay back on the path to success. And I love to hear that sounds like even your grandpa just had such good people rallying behind him.
Yeah, and just to see that's the recipe for success, is having others to help guide you. We want to give back to that, and that's a lot of what we were supporting in the Community Building Institute, and the efforts to revitalize this 80-year-old community center in the heart of Middletown. Again, it's a place where my grandfather grew up, my father grew up, my aunts and uncles, and just right in the middle of two of the hardest hit census tracts in the entire state, highest poverty levels that we've seen.
It's almost
violence and crime around, and so we have to do something if we want to.
I couldn't agree with you more. And the impact, when I think about impacting communities that really need it. I think about that, wow, you have the census data. I mean, you live in this community, you grew up in this community, you know what it needs. And I just think that's such a great thing that, you're doing well. What makes you want to push this initiative? Because I think that is really important for a lot of entrepreneurs and community builders.
Yeah. During the pandemic, we were all sort of locked in, and, over the past couple decades, I've been able to travel, do things on a national, global scale. But the pandemic sort of, forced us all to be home. And I began to look in our backyard and see what was going on. And you could open the paper and read about shootings or young people being involved in just different, very, very bad things. And it was just really that going
right.
to a funeral, and that just really compelled me. Said we have to do something. If I can't save lives in my own backyard, then what good am I at all?
Yeah.
So I really took that personally and accepted that role of these young people's lives are my responsibility and all of ours as a community, and that has just been the thrust and the passion that keeps on.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been easy. There's been challenges. We've finding the funding, going
right.
through, making sure that the plans. Lots of time has been dedicated to this project, and like I said, it hasn't always been easy. But just knowing that's the mission has been able to keep me going.
Right. I think anything. There's that quote, right? Anything worth doing, it's not going to be easy, right? And me having grown up, working for John Boehner, that was my first job. He always said, you do the right things for the right reasons, and usually good things will happen, right? It doesn't happen all the time. And I think right now you are really leaning into this community center and making sure that it's here for your community, which is so awesome. And you're being rewarded. It's taking flight. People are lining up to donate to this great community cause because they know what an impact it is.
You see social media, you see everything has really evolved. And so it's really time that we take a look at philanthropy and giving, and how do we take that into the future, into the next step. So looking at innovation in everything that we do, including giving, is so forward and a great experience.
I couldn't agree more. As we were getting set up for the show today, we were just chatting, Stephen and I, and we were talking about, hey, what was like that first meeting? Because we see each other all the time now, and we kind of forget, when did we first actually meet in person? Where was it? Because now I see Stephen like once a week at events or out and about, and just talking about how to make the community a better place to live, work, and play. So can you talk about our first meeting?
It's funny to think about it. The first meeting was so very formal at PF Chang's.
PF Chang.
We were both buttoned up in our business attire and mindset, talking about endowments, and talking about how we can begin to give. And we found out that we had so much in common from our political backgrounds, even though we might be on the opposite side of the aisle, but that passion, but also just the passion for community and how do we make an impact. And that meeting led to our creating the first endowment that was seeded by cryptocurrency towards the Community Building Institute. And just to think about all the work that has been done since then in growing that project that we could talk a bit more about later. But it's been such a great journey that I'm excited about the future.
So excited about the future. And I just have to highlight that gift because that was such a fun, cool asset to accept for the foundation, right? Both yourself and Matt King in the community approached me. We met at the infamous PF Chang's. And, we were talking about, okay, we have this idea. We want to donate cryptocurrency. Crypto at the time was at an all-time high. It was a great time to donate that appreciated asset. And no one in the area was doing it. And so we thought, let's change the way we do business for you to benefit your community, this Middletown Community Center. and just really make it this in perpetuity asset for the kids in the community. And so I just have to say thank you, because that was so fun. We had our Bitcoin t-shirts on. We were all ready for the press. And really, it was just a really good thing that you were doing. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I definitely have to give a hat tip to Matt King, who we worked together in a lot of different areas. And that not only did it, it achieved the goal of, creating the sustainable, but the aspect of grabbing national attention, and bringing all that attention back to, again, what the core is, and that's to help in our mission to build the community.
Absolutely. And I feel that with you so much in working with you, Stephen, that you were raised to give back. So let's delve some more into just your business acumen, your business success, here at Hightowers Petroleum. And what is your focus and your plan for that third generation? I think that's so cool that you guys are at Gen 3 with you.
Yeah. And actually we blessed to have a fourth generation working in our family business.
Wow.
So to explain a little bit about what we do. So Hightowers Petroleum Company, we're a national distributor of gasoline and diesel fuel across the country. So anywhere from General Motors, the first 4 gallons of fuel in every General Motors vehicle comes right from Hightowers Petroleum Company outside of the doors here. Duke Energy, their generators in their fleet, Ford, Nissan, FedEx, Waste Management. So really, in the Fortune 500 space, we fashion ourselves the premier provider of gasoline and diesel fuel, which has created a niche for us. And what we're looking towards in the future is, how do we look at a more sustainable future for our company and society in general. So looking at renewable fuels, we are the first distributor or the exclusive distributor of renewable diesel.
Wow.
Outside of California.
Yeah.
So in the Midwest, looking at our customers. So this renewable diesel is 100% made out of non-fossil fuel materials. So animal fats, waste, et cetera. There's a refining process that takes this product, and it's not only it's identical and superior to regular diesel in terms of performance and things like that. So we're really pushing to get this product out west.
I honestly had no idea. So can you describe to somebody obviously not in the petroleum business, if I wanted to fuel my diesel truck with this product, where would I even get it?
www.hightowerspetroleum.com.
Okay, great plug-in for you. So glad that we were able to do that.
No, so seriously, Hightowers Petroleum Company, this particular product, and it has not been put into mainstream right now. My goal is to become the John Rockefeller of renewable diesel.
I love that.
So we're building the system as we speak. We're building the transportation systems, the logistics system, bringing it in by rail, finding storage, and just really, how do we have this opportunity because where we're positioned, how we position ourselves, corporate America is the driver. They're looking for this product to help meet their ESG, environmental, sustainable, and governance goals, and so being in that position and then having that pipeline with this great company based out of Singapore has just been a great opportunity that we really have to capitalize on right now. And as as state and local governments begin to incentivize this product more, that's when you'll start to see it become more readily available to the consumer. So right now in California, there's a pretty good incentive for people to buy that. So that's where most of the product is gravitating towards. But as those incentives roll out and people become more and more concerned about sustainability, and as the regulations come out, and as the supply of diesel fuel just becomes less and less, those will be there to take its place over the next 30 years.
Wow. And what is that like? You know, I'm sure I have no knowledge besides speaking to you on the industry. What is that like? Are there predictions for it running out? I mean, obviously.
So it depends on who you ask. I mean, there are the shale revolution, so where the fracking came into play, that has extended the world supply of crude oil by 100 years.
Wow.
So there's plenty of crude oil, and there's plenty of uses for those products that people don't quite realize. The makeup, plastics, it's a product that's used in a lot of different forms that if people aren't using it for transportation, those products, now you have a deficit of those byproducts and other uses. So, it's easy to say, like, let's get rid of crude oil, but
right.
It's, you've got even the cars on the road today, 98% of them are still use internal combustion engines.
Got it.
It looks like you see a Tesla every
right.
There's a lot.
All using
it's so
diesel.
Intertwined and complicated that we have to look at a all of the above approach and veer away from slogans and quick and look at what are the actual needs
Sure.
Of society, and how do we phase that in and become, and like with renewable diesel, it's saying, okay, let's become cleaner, let's fix what we can and use this infrastructure that's already in place, to
right.
to really to maximize our investments.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I really appreciate you sharing today. So as we, this is our very first inaugural podcast, and really delving into Hightower's Petroleum, I have a not so serious question, because I think it's good to break it up, right, from the serious nature. So after a hard day, let's say in the petroleum business, and it's just been a tough day, what is your go-to pour?
So I'm a gin and tonic type of guy.
Gin and tonic, are you?
So
what kind of gin?
Empress is my preferred.
Okay.
Hendrix is good.
Yeah.
So those would be my top two.
I just had to know. I'm a Tito's girl after a long day myself, so I had to know how you break it up.
So I'm a good, we talked about a good Pinot. That's, I enjoy those with dinner.
Yeah.
But sitting typically at the Roosevelt Room.
Yes. Yes.
At the Liberty Center.
Great bar in the community.
Yeah,
great drinks. And frankly, you see a lot of business owners there.
Absolutely,
You really do.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of great relationships forged, over a good pour, and it's always a good time to to relax and be able to get to know people and get the business out of the way, and because people do business with people who they have relationships with. People
They
who
really
like.
do. They really do.
There's minute differences between one person with petroleum and another person with petroleum, but it's going to be who do they like, who do they trust, and whether it's over coffee or over sitting on a board together,
right,
or at a bar, building
right,
those,
or even playing golf together. Frankly, I mean, I've seen you swing a club. You're better than I am, which isn't saying much, Stephen. You're better than I am.
I won't.
Do you have a gin? I don't know. I mean, I have one, but it's almost max. Max, do you know what that is? It's like almost a 52. It only goes so high, Stephen. So we'll play in scrambles this year, I think. Yeah, to further the community and community good.
Actually, so I'm on the board for the Atrium Medical Center, and we had a board meeting yesterday, and we always have a golf outing, and there's a side bet of how many holes I will actually play.
Okay, I'm gonna 4. I'm gonna say 4 sounds about right.
4's a good bet. But this year, I think I'm gonna host. It's at a country club, and there's also a pool. So I think I'm gonna host the first annual Hightower pool party.
Oh, it's so strategic, so strategic.
So give some of us who are not so big of golf fanatics, yeah. Something to do while
especially if it's a hot day. Yeah. I mean, when it's 95 degrees and you have to play 18 holes, I always wish golfing would end at like hole 13, 12, somewhere on those last 5 holes. You're like, do we really have to finish?
8 or 9 is perfect for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm already in last place. Is there an award for last place? You know what really inspires me though, Stephen, is that I find like the entrepreneur circles that you run in the region, how charitable they are. 99% of them, they are giving back. They are trying to make an impact in what's important to them and maybe shape the lives of youth maybe differently than their story was. Can you talk about what you think drives our community to be so philanthropic?
I think at the end of the day, most people want to do the right thing, like you said, what Speaker Boehner was saying about doing the right thing. I think, and some people don't know how necessarily, but they want to. They want to do the right thing, and I've just met so many people who have raised their hand and say, "Listen, just show me the way, or show which way to make an impact," and I'm with it and I'm following it. It's just like anything. Some people we never get because we never ask, right? And there's just so many people who with resources that if they see, so often we go through. There's organizations that you don't see the impact, or you don't see where the money ultimately goes. But if you can, people want to make a difference, and there's so many, like different ideologies might not say, hey, I don't, just because somebody doesn't want their tax dollars raised doesn't mean they don't have a good heart,
right?
And so if people have misconceptions. Yes, they want to help these people, but they want to help them in the most tax efficient, impactful way.
And you really do. You find that. I think people are so charitable, so philanthropic. They want to give back. And of course, it's advantageous to do it in a way that makes sense for your tax situation, right? And it's going to motivate you. And I am glad for that, that we do have this system that we have where there are strategies to, maybe not realize capital gains or pay less tax if you're selling a business, S corporation sales and how to maximize your gift. And that's why we're here. And that's why you and I are partnering on this exciting initiative. And it's been really fun.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how many in the entrepreneur community don't really understand all of that. And so to have someone like you and the foundation and that great team to walk us through and say, hey, these are things that you can take advantage of projects that you're already working on or contributing to. So thank you for all that help in that way.
It's definitely our pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. So, we were thinking we were benchmarking all these podcasts, right? And it's been fun listening to all these different takes and styles. And so we're going to be asking and this is the first time I've heard of this, right? What would you take in your bug out bag? And let me explain to our listeners here what a bug out bag is. This is if like doomsday, right? You have the Chinese balloons, Russia, what are you going to do if the world is ending? What are you taking with you, Stephen? If you could list 4 things you're going to put in that bug out bag, what would it be?
So first of all, I will tell you that I totally think that the aliens are coming. I've never been
Watch out.
I've never been a conspiracy theorist, but these balloons have really got me. got me on
you
edge.
And so many others.
And so, number one, I have to have my phone in a battery pack because I'm totally. I'll be tweeting about the the alien.
The end of time. Yeah.
all the way to
Follow Stevie Got Soul.
hashtag doomsday. So definitely have to stay connected, and there's just so much to that, including the music and staying connected.
Right.
I have a son across the country, so I want to stay connected with him. So that connectivity is important. Definitely have to have my protein, so some tuna.
Oh, yeah. Can of tuna. We got to have
can
that.
of tuna in little packets.
Yeah.
A bottle of wine.
Oh, what are you drinking, though? What kind of bottle? That matters.
I'm a fan of Oregon Pinots.
Ooh, Oregon Pinots. For our crowd, those are some good Pinots.
Yeah.
If you don't know, I'd buy a bottle. Try it out this weekend.
Yeah, and probably some coffee, because
Because who's even alive without 2 cups of coffee?
Right.
I love that. Those are amazing, and I want to find you and make sure that we're together.
I might not be the survivor. You might want to find the guy with the gun.
You'll be tweeting about it.
The gun and the flashlight.
And the fire starting the matches.
You might want to hang out with Bill, but I'll have a good time.
But your social media platform will be good until everything's gone. All power's gone in the U.S. So you were talking about bringing your phone, and that you have a son that lives far away. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So Stephen Hightower III, my son, we are in a 2023 family.
Yeah.
Where him and his mother they live in Denver, Colorado. She works at a university and does acting. So the phone is the way we FaceTime every day, and it's a great way for us to stay connected. Helping with homework every night.
Love that.
I have to Google the math problems and figure it out.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with first grade homework. Yeah.
But it's good that even despite distance, that we're connected, and I think that's really important as how we look at the thing as opportunity. The technologies that we have, opportunities is to stay connected across the globe. And to really build a global community, and not let it separate us as it can, but to be connected and to really take advantage and share ideas, share passions, and really make an impact.
I think that's great. And when you're talking about philanthropy and Stephen III and kind of that legacy, right, of philanthropy, I see you teaching him the ropes, showing him your passion in Middletown. Can you just chat a little bit about that?
Yeah, and it's so just to be able to have him by my side when he's here, either over summers or at Christmas, taking him up to the state capitol to participate in youth and government.
So great.
Going to the opening of the game room that we built and at the Middletown Community Center. He was partly the inspiration in that. He's a big gamer, so it's like,
I love that.
So this is what the kids, what they like, and that they that will attract them to a safe place. And so when I think about legacy, I'm not doing the things that I do to have my name on a building,
right? But
to know that at least one person is safe, has been guided on the right path. That's what drives me, and that will be my legacy.
I love that. Well, just thank you so much for graciously hosting us here. What an amazing place that your grandpa built, Hightowers Petroleum. Again, we're here in Middletown, Ohio. So the Northern Cincinnati Foundation and I myself thank you for just coming on, being our first inaugural guest. You were fabulous.
To learn more about how to expand your philanthropy, please reach out to the Northern Cincinnati Foundation. What Gives is produced and distributed by King Hightower Strategies.